Hello, good day. It's glad to have you join me today as well on my channel. My name is Sunday Clement. Today we'll be looking at heartburn. And when we talk about heartburn, it has nothing to do with the heart at all. But it's called heartburn because most people have this sense of sensational feeling around their chest, which is close to their heart. Now, before going into the details of the lifestyle measures that we can imbibe to help us prevent having heartburn, sometimes when we're overstressed and all that, people can come down with heartburn, but when it becomes a frequent thing, then it's important for us to take a second look at it. I have some lifestyle measures and tips that can actually guide us, to prevent heartburn. Then the first we're going to look at is, let me first explain the phenomenon of heartburn. Now, whenever we eat, the food that we take through our mouth has to go through the esophagus, which is like a tube that connects the mouth to the stomach. Now, this esophagus has a media which is basically alkaline nature, but in our stomach we have a lot of acid. Now, between the esophagus and the stomach, there's like a sphincter valve, which prevents the acidic medium of the stomach from splashing into the esophagus. Whenever this valve is relaxed or the muscle is weak, and some of this excess acid in the stomach, they seep upstream, they surge upstream into the esophagus. It causes this sensational feeling which is called the heartburn. Now, there are certain things that we need to bear in mind to prevent this from happening. The first is to ensure that whenever we eat food, we take a lot of water. That's to wash it down so that there's no tendency. This further reduces the tendency of acid being surging into the esophagus. The second thing we need to understand, which is the second point, is we need to watch the position that we eat. Sometimes people lie down to eat, which is not the best. They lie down to eat. When you lie down to eat, there's a tendency that in the process of the food moving from esophagus into the stomach, there might be an opening, and some of the acid media in the stomach can seep into the esophagus, and it could as well result to heartburn. Studies have also shown that when you take a lot of high fat food containing a lot of high fat, you have a tendency to reduce the integrity of your muscle which guards the esophagus from the stomach. And when that happens, you have this surge, and it can also cause heartburn. So you have to watch out for food that contains a lot of fat. Now, studies have also shown that when people eat very late at night, we usually advise people to stop any form of eating as late as 8 p.m. You shouldn't take anything again for that night, because there's a tendency that while you take anything beyond 8, it could eventually roll into bedtime. The metabolism of that food can roll into bedtime, and by that time you're already in a sleeping position, and you can risk the acid being flowing down back into the esophagus. So we don't want that to happen. You have to consider your diet every time. If you believe that you've been eating a lot of food, you've been consuming a lot of excessive, because studies have shown that it occurs mainly in people who consume a lot of food. So it might be advisable and healthy for you to consider going on a diet that can be advisable for you. And the last thing I would like to share with us is we need to bear in mind that there's certain kind of medication that can actually cause heartburn. So we have to look at contraindication of the drugs that we take. Antihistamine drugs have been known to cause heartburn, and sometimes the drugs that are related to the heart for heart conditions have also been known to have a side effect of heartburn. So we need to discuss with our physician before we take drugs, because some of these drugs, they have a tendency to weaken the muscle which protect the esophagus from the stomach. Thank you for your time. I believe this information has been helpful one way or the other. Please kindly subscribe at the end of the video. Have a nice day.